right. This is us.
Hello, hello.
Sorry we are out of focus a little bit.
I don't know what's going on with our software, but
Yeah. Maybe in a smaller window it looks better. If you enlarge this, we're probably going to look like crap.
right. Hello.
Hey.
I'm Jen,
I'm Corey.
and we are
Corey and Jen do the Caribbean one.
Oh, it's gonna be one of those days. So, yeah, we just got back yesterday morning from a
Oh, Lordy.
very interesting and fun trip. We had fun. We had lots of fun.
We made new friends.
We made new friends. So we did a day in Florida, and then we went on a 5-day Caribbean cruise on the Carnival Freedom. And then we unintentionally spent the night in Chicago.
O'Hare
Yeah, to be exact.
is not the best hotel in Chicago, let me tell you.
And
10 out of 10 do not recommend.
So yeah, we we just wanted to kind of give a review of the Carnival Freedom. This was Corey's very first cruise.
I popped my cherry.
Very first cruise. It was my first Carnival cruise.
It was my first time out of the country. I've never even left America before, so yeah.
He's been close to the
Close.
Mexico
Hey, I was
border.
close. I drove along the Mexican border one time.
But yeah, so we just wanted to talk a little bit about this. So if you join us during our live and have any questions, go ahead and feel free to post them, and we'll try to get to them as we can. Otherwise, we're just going to start from when we left, I guess.
Sure.
And
all right, so I guess to start out, we flew out of Peoria
on American Airlines.
On American Airlines. It's started out kind of rocky because our flight was delayed by about an hour.
Yep.
And by the time we got to Charlotte, which is where our connecting flight was, we had missed by like 5 or 10 minutes them closing the door. The plane was still there, and they said, we can't unlock the door and let you on. Yeah. So we had to get a new connecting flight that was also delayed by like 4 hours to Orlando. So we took the latest flight out for that from Charlotte.
Ended up getting into Orlando about 1 o'clock. And we had already made reservations at the Holiday Inn and Suites across from Universal Studios weeks ago.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. They do not have a shuttle from the airport, so we had to Uber, which Uber in Orlando is super easy.
Yeah.
Like, it's the easiest thing, and they meet you right outside the baggage claim. So you don't have to go very far. It's literally Uber easy.
Right.
But we got an Uber there, no problem at all. Every one of our Uber drivers this trip was amazing. Super nice, very informative.
I'm going to learn how to read the descriptions because I was speaking Spanish to our Uber driver who does not speak Spanish. I knew his name was Alejandro or
yes.
Armando.
Armando. Yeah.
And I was like, gracias. He's just like, whatever, gets our bags. And then she goes, did you know he doesn't speak Spanish? Oops.
I think he was kind of chuckling about it. But like I said, he was very quiet, but a great driver, got us to our destination, no problem. He was there really fast. We only waited maybe 3 minutes, if that.
Yeah, we never waited very long for an Uber driver.
It was nice. The hotel, on the other hand, probably, I don't know, maybe a 6 out of 10. For a Holiday Inn and Suites, it was not very well taken care of. The girl that checked us in, that was like the overnight, I don't know, maybe I think
Desk clerk.
yeah, they do the like accounting and stuff overnight. She was very young, but super friendly, very helpful, letting us know what was available in the morning as far as breakfast and things like that goes. But the hotel was very dirty. For one, the minute you walk in, there's cigarette butts right outside the door, and it just was not kept up very well. And then when we got to our room, there was holes in the carpet that looked like they were burned.
We will post pictures on our Facebook page of all this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, the elevator smelled like illegal. Oh, I guess in Florida it's illegal. I don't know. It's not. It smelled like
skunk.
Yeah.
AKA, yeah. Yeah, so, yeah. The beds were clean. I am very OCD about checking the sheets and bed bugs, that kind of stuff. That was all clean.
The room was very swampy when we got in. For Florida, they had the air turned up to like 75 or 76, so it was very muggy in there. We had to turn it down really low. Usually those hotels keep them cool.
I mean, we were there to sleep. We weren't there for a week, so we weren't too worried about it. But just to share the information with anyone that might be looking for some place to go and stay,
it was a really good deal on a room.
It was super inexpensive.
It was right across from Universal.
Very close to Universal. So if that's what you're looking for, cool. Like I said, the sheets and beds were clean. The towels were clean. The bathroom was.
They do charge $14 or $15 for breakfast. Yeah.
And they had $18 a night resort fee
that wasn't on Expedia or Priceline wherever we booked.
We booked through Priceline this time, yeah. But yeah, so I think it was advertised as a 3-star. I would probably consider it more of a 2-star in the condition it was in. But like I said, if you're just looking for a place to sleep, don't care about anything else, perfect.
Yeah.
It's super close to Universal, so you could see everything from there. I mean, our view from our room was of the dumpster in the back.
Yeah, I have pictures of that, too.
Yeah, and the guy couldn't even throw the trash in the dumpster. It was just sitting outside.
He walked out and threw one in the dumpster, but there was still a bunch of garbage bags sitting outside the dumpster. I'm like, how lazy are they that they couldn't
just walked away?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But, like I said, uneventful. We finally got there and got checked in and fell asleep about 2:15. It's about a 20-minute Uber ride from the
MCO,
from the airport. So, but we got all checked in, went to bed. Got up the next morning about 10. Checkout was at 11, but we really wanted to get to our next destination. We had a much nicer hotel booked. We had originally, the plan was to stay at this second hotel for 2 nights. But not knowing the flight issues that were going on, we've heard a lot. We've experienced a little bit of flight delays and cancellations. I was kind of worried about it, and we were going to Cocoa Beach, and that's an hour and 10 minutes from MCO, traffic depending. But and I'm glad we decided to stay somewhere closer to the airport because of what happened at 1 a.m. I don't know that we could have found an Uber driver that would want to drive an hour and a half.
Right.
But we were initially supposed to stay at this second hotel for 2 nights. But we got up and decided to head there for the night before our cruise. I had 3 Uber drivers turn us down before we finally got an Uber driver, which sounds bad, but it only took less than a minute.
Yeah,
it
was
they as soon as they see the destination, they declined, and someone else got this notification or however that works on Uber. So 1, 2, 3, because I can see it on my app in real time, and then the 4th gentleman took it and brought us all the way there.
Yeah, and he's like, I'll probably just work over here for the rest of the day and
Excuse me.
go back home. He's like, I'm not going to drive back.
Yeah. So we tip really well, especially if they're good drivers, decent conversation or no conversation. We're okay either way.
Mm-hmm.
But especially for a trip like that, and I know they're going out of their way, I already plan ahead, that I'm going to tip probably 30, 40, maybe even 50%, depending. But we were very appreciative. We did tip very well, and didn't have a problem at all. He was at 11 o'clock in the morning on a Friday. Traffic was a little crazy just leaving Orlando and then getting into Cocoa Beach, but in between, it's almost a straight shot. So it wasn't bad at all, I didn't think, and it took us an hour and 4 minutes.
Yeah, it was
from
really
the
quick.
hotel to the next hotel, which is we stayed at the Four Points Sheraton Cocoa Beach. Gorgeous hotel.
By
I
Marriott.
would totally stay there again for like a week, if not longer.
Yeah, we got there right at 11 o'clock, which is checkout time or 11:30, I think even.
Yes, it was closer to 11.
Checkout time for the guests
The
that
night
were
before.
checking out. And we showed up and we said, hey, we're with this group. We want to see if there's early check-in or can we just leave our bags? And the guy's like, we have one room ready. You can have it.
Yep.
And it worked out great. There was some people that came in right behind us.
Not so happy.
Not so happy. But he told us everything that was going on in the area, how far the beach was, what we
Gave
were
us
asked,
a
what we
map.
were doing. Yeah, really knowledgeable guy. He said he'd lived there his whole life. So
yeah, the
hooked us up.
nicest, like the best customer service I've ever experienced at a hotel. He well, we had the, I guess they consider it a park and cruise package, but it's also like a stay and cruise kind of thing. If you request that package, you get a coupon for 15% off in the store that's attached, which is the Cocoa Beach Surf Company.
Hi, Rob.
Hi, Rob. And the Cocoa Beach Surf Company is kind of like a mini Ron John. It's very just surf-esque. They had surfboards, boogie boards, things like that for sale, as well as t-shirts and all that other stuff. But they give you a coupon for 15% off anything in that store. You get 4 free breakfasts the next morning at their little diner, which is Shark Bite?
Shark bait. Ooh, ha ha.
It's
I don't know.
not
A shark
Shark
pit. Shark
Bait.
pit.
A Shark Pit, that's what it was. They have a giant aquarium in the center with some
With a
sharks
shark in it.
and some eels, and it was really cool. The room was gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
They have a pool and a hot tub outside, but it's covered. It's kind of in their parking garage almost in the corner. It's not in the parking garage, but it's kind of right by
It's
there.
secluded too. It's really nice.
Yeah.
It's covered by the parking garage, so if it's raining, you can still get out in the pool.
Absolutely. It is very small compared, but the hotel itself is a block and a half from the beach, maybe 2 blocks.
Yeah.
We
super
walked.
close.
It took us maybe 6-7 minutes to walk to the beach. Corey went down there and had a great time. Jumped right in.
I did.
He couldn't wait to get down there. I think we got up to the room, dropped all our stuff off, changed, and we flew down.
I
to the
lost a
beach.
gibbet off my Crocs slides though, so I'm kind
you
of.
did. He was a little sad about that.
No, and it's out the Cocoa Beach Surf Company. If you walk out their doors, they have a huge Ron John right outside.
It was a pretty good cruise, Rob. If you just joined us, it's my very first Carnival cruise, and I know you guys like Carnival. And Corey's very first cruise ever. So he, was pretty excited. So we had a good time. And we made some new cruise friends, which is awesome. And we're excited. We're already booking our next one with them. So pretty excited.
We'll talk about that here in a little bit.
Yes. So we met up with everybody in our group. There's 59 or 57 people, I think, because a couple couldn't make it. 57 in our group, and we all got together the next morning.
Took the shuttles
Took
over
the
to the
shuttle. They do offer a cruise port shuttle. They do offer also a shuttle to the airport from the cruise port, but you have to
book it 24 hours in advance.
Book a minimum of 24 hours in advance.
It's a great deal, though, because Ubers from there are kind of pricey back to MCO, and they said it's $28 a head.
To take their shuttle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is not my last. No.
Definitely not. He loved it. Did you see the video, Rob, of him singing with the cruise director?
Oh, man.
That was funny.
That was fun.
But yeah, so we took that. We did purchase Faster to the Fun, which if you're not familiar with Carnival.
For our Disney friends out there, this is Genie Plus Lightning Lane for cruising.
Yes. As far as I know, I think Carnival's the only one that does it, that offers it, unless you're like platinum, gold, whatever. Yeah, great. It was funny. But yeah, you can purchase, it was $89, I think, and you embark first, so you get in the cruise terminal first, you get on the ship first,
unless you're a suite, they send you straight up if you're...
Oh yeah, if you're in a suite, or if you're diamond or platinum, that kind of stuff.
Like second on the ship, but first out of all the regular plebs that have to wait.
Rob, are you in favor? Are you platinum level yet, or diamond level? You have to be, or you have to be awfully close. Because that's, you guys have been on a few carnivals. I think I've watched quite a few. So, but yes, so you also get priority ship tenders. Mm-hmm. So for my non-cruise friends, sometimes a ship cannot dock right at the island. They have to anchor a little ways out, and you have to actually get on a little ship tender, which is just a smaller little boat vessel, and go to the island that way. And a lot of times, if you have an excursion booked and you have to get there right away, you have to, get on one of the first ones, because they only hold so many people. But so with Faster the Fun, you do get priority for that as well. And then you also get priority disembarkation, so getting off the ship. So it's like, yes, you get on the ship right away, but we're going to kick you off first too. So
faster to the fun and faster from the fun.
Oh, wow. 25th Carnival cruise. That's awesome. I hope
jealous.
They do something amazing for you guys, because that's awesome.
If you can book one with Andy as the cruise director, he is amazing.
Andy is so good. He just got promoted to cruise director in May, and the Freedom is his first ship, and I think he's off now, though, in a couple of weeks. He's finally done, because he's on his 11th month, he said, on this contract. So he's done for a little while. But he was really good, super friendly. He made the cruise really fun. But, yeah, so we got on the ship, and our room was ready already. So we dropped off our bags, and...
Well, we didn't even have any... Well, our bags. One of our bags was waiting.
Yeah.
We met our room steward. She was really nice.
He's brand new. He was a comedian. He went from being a comedian to an assistant cruise director for a little while, and then just got promoted.
He was on the
Mardi Gras.
He said he announced the comedians at the comedy lounge or whatever.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Funny guy. He even did a little stand-up during one of the comedy shows, which was really good. He was really funny, so it was really good.
Oh, you were getting blowed up.
I know, my phone's going crazy.
What the heck?
my goodness. So yeah, we were on the ship and just started exploring and kind of trying to show Corey a little bit of what I knew to expect, which wasn't much because Carnival's very different from all the Norwegian cruises I've done, and the one MSC and one Princess I've done. So it was very different for me as well, especially to get used to set dining times, dress codes. Gosh, what else? There's quite a few things, I'm sure. As we talk about it, I'll remember. But yeah, so we just kind of got settled in that first day and watched them, untie all the ropes and push off and head out and had a good time. Just went to dinner. We had initially had a set dining time for 8:15 p.m., which is very late for us. So we ended up changing it on the second night to the 6 p.m., which worked out way better. And it was just us for the second night, and then the third, fourth, and fifth night we had company. So
we didn't eat at the dining room our first night, did we?
No.
We went to the buffet.
We went to the buffet.
Their buffet was not the greatest
It was so-so.
buffet.
Yeah.
The next day we did do the buffet for breakfast, and their omelet station's really good.
I just really like eating fruits
the
for
cheese
breakfast.
wasn't that great.
Good.
I love cheese, and I did not like their cheddar cheese was really bad.
It just had an awkward flavor.
Yeah.
But yeah, we didn't really find anything on the buffet that we liked a whole lot, so we didn't go. I don't think the rest of the trip, except for me to get fruit.
We did do the guys burgers for
yeah,
lunch that day, and
we did.
They were pretty decent.
They were pretty good.
I ate at the Carnival Deli. She did not. That was 80s night. We were busy, so I stopped and got her a sandwich that she didn't get a chance to eat. But the steak and cheese was pretty decent from there.
Yeah. Otherwise, I think there was only one night we didn't care for what the dining room had. But otherwise, we had great food at the dining rooms every night.
Yeah, and they have staples that you can get if you don't like what's on the menu. So they had sirloin, they had salmon, and they had chicken.
Yep.
Every night.
Every night. So you knew there would be something on there you would like.
Oh,
we never got to try the burritos, Rob. I'm so sad.
I know the one night
sad.
I really wanted to try them, and they were closed by the time we got out. They don't do the 24-hour buffet.
No. It was very, very difficult to find food after 11 p.m.
Pizza was the only thing you get, and the crust is paper thin.
I wasn't a fan.
Yeah. It was okay in a pinch.
Yeah. When you hadn't eaten almost all day. We're hungry, but that was 80s night, wasn't it?
Yeah, because we went to the party on the Lido that night and had a blast. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, it was.
I have a video that I might post on our Facebook page that I haven't shared yet.
No.
Where, but yeah, our first port of call. What was our first port of call?
Nassau.
Oh, I was so excited.
Yeah. So I didn't say anything to Corey before the cruise, but Nassau's like, oh my God, yes. MSC's pizza. I would have to very much agree with you there. I was not a huge fan of Nassau before. I'd been there 3 or 4 times before and had done Atlantis and swimming with dolphins, and I have done Atlantis as water park, and I've just walked around and done nothing. I've gone to Junkanoo Beach. I've walked around town even and just kind of went into local shops and things like that. So I was kind of over Nassau, but
I guess maybe before we preface this, we didn't book any excursions. We were just going to be beach bums this whole trip.
Yeah.
So it was just, we're going to go in and explore. If we find something we want to do, because I'd never been out of the country, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
So
I had been to Nassau since pre-pandemic, so I hadn't seen all the buildup in the new port and all the new resorts. Margaritaville's there. There was what, a Hilton. There was something else there, but it was really nice. I was very, very pleasantly surprised at how nice it was, and the walk over to Junkanoo was actually.
It was a little long.
It was a pain
trek.
in the butt, but totally worth it when we got there. The beach is gorgeous. I didn't remember it being that nice. I've never swam when I've gone to Junkanoo Beach. Usually it's just go to there, because from Junkanoo, before all those resorts are there, you could get great pictures of all the ships in port, because it kind of lines them up at an angle, and you could just get some great shots of the gorgeous cruise ships there. So that's when I have been there before, that's what I would go to Junkanoo for. And now it's kind of built up, very touristy, with all the huts selling chairs and umbrellas,
Party
floaties.
favors.
Oh Lord, yeah. Floaties for the ocean and stuff like that. And Corey just wants to be in the water, which cool. Let's go. There was no place to sit, and I refused to pay for a chair because there was 5 ships in port total that day, including ours, and there were 3 already there before us. Then we got there, and then another one came after us. So there was already a ton of people in port. So the beach was already full. If I would have rented a chair, we would have been all the way almost to the road. And I was like, nah, I'm not paying for that. I'll find a spot in the sand and sit or whatever.
Pro tip, you don't have to pay to be on Margaritaville's beach. And there's a lot less people in the water over on the Margaritaville side. So
you have to pay to use their chairs.
You have to be staying there.
But if you just want to go sit on the beach, there is a lot less people, and you can see the line in the sand, literally.
Yeah.
Where people don't cross over, but they don't own the beach. It's not private beach. It is public beach. You only have to pay $139, I think, for the day. You can use their chairs. You can, I believe that includes snacks and drinks. And we had talked about it, but we're like, we don't know what the weather's going to be like. We don't know, what's going on. So we're just going to wing it and see what happens, and found a nice spot that, like I said, it was empty. There was one other couple sitting next to me for a while. But as the other cruise ship came in, more people came. But still, on the Margaritaville side, there was not nearly as many people as on the Junkanoo side. So we just swam in it's sugar soft sand.
Oh my God. And in the water, you don't sink into it.
It's like
nice
packed,
and packed.
So you can actually walk without sinking a foot into the sand, which is really nice. But Corey just floated out there for about an hour.
Yeah.
I had gotten out. I can't remember.
You were out of the water for like maybe a half hour.
Oh, I was starting to feel like I was getting sunburnt. I reapplied some sunblock. But then, like I said, more people were coming, and I didn't want to leave our stuff. Like, we had money and debit cards and everything, and my cell phones and stuff that I didn't want to leave on the beach. So I just stayed out and dried off, which I was fine with. And then you could start hearing rumbles of some thunder. Oh, Pearl Island and Blue Lagoon are some nice excursions to do in Nassau.
We almost did a Blue Lagoon excursion.
Corey wants to swim with dolphins.
I do want to swim with dolphins.
I really enjoyed the excursion, the dolphin excursion I did with Atlantis, because they focus on rehabilitation and taking care of dolphins that can't be re-released. So it's not all about, teaching dolphins to do tricks and using them for entertainment. It's more educational. So I really wanted to do that with him there, but I also heard Blue Lagoon is a decent place to go. But we read recent reviews that said it was getting to be more like getting people in and out of
Just
there.
churning people through.
Yeah. Not so much about education anymore. It's just about how many people can we get in and get through. So we did look at that. We also looked at the adults only beach, I think on Pearl Island, wasn't it? But yeah, so maybe next time, because it sounds like we'll be there again. not, not too far away.
We walked after we only spent an hour and a half at the beach, and then we walked back. Jen wanted to go to the straw market, so we kind of veered off and went down a side road to go in the backside of the straw market, and I almost ended up married.
To preface, I did try to warn him. I tried very hard. I told him before we left the ship, I said, no is your favorite word today. You just say no. Unless you absolutely want something, you just say no. But yeah, the first lady to come up to him and say, I got a bracelet for you. I'm going to put this bracelet on you.
Okay.
Yeah. And I said, no. And she said, I smite you. And I was like, oh, crap. Time to go.
So I almost ended up married, and she's cursed.
Yeah, well, you know. Yeah,
straw market, they're kind of pushy there too. I didn't have my money.
Are.
They didn't have my money on me, and this guy's like, "Oh, you need to buy this, and let's make a deal." And I'm like, "She's got the money."
And anybody that's been anywhere where there's a market like that, where there are a lot of locals that have to provide for families and themselves and things like that. They are trying to make a deal and trying to sell stuff. Yeah. And we're all about economies and helping out, where we're at. We buy local, whatever, to a point. Like, we are not big stuff people. We don't really collect anything on vacation. I like a t-shirt now and then, but...
And everything was kind of like, you see the same thing at every shop, so it's not like unique stuff that they're selling. It's the same thing I saw at the last 3 shops.
Right. It's magnets, it's wood-carved
stuff.
And,
there was one guy that was standing there carving stuff at his station, but other than that, it was the same stuff at everyone.
So we didn't buy anything, but I did get a good look around. I did see a couple things that I was interested in, but I'm not a big stuff person, so I just wanted to look around. So we got...
Then where did we go after the straw market?
Oh, we went to Sharky's.
We did go to Sharky's.
We went to Sharky's because Corey wanted to try conch.
So I got some conch balls. Conch fritters.
I'm not a fan. I've tried them before, but I told them, I said, I'll have some if you want to split an order. And I had a quarter of one because I remembered how bad I don't like them.
I thought it was delicious. I think the only thing I was expecting was that I'm from the Midwest, and we have like hush puppies and corn fritters, and they're crunchy on the outside and soft on the inside, and these were soft all the way through. So it was just a very different texture. If they'd have been crunchy like a hush puppy or a corn fritter, like I would have liked them a little bit more.
But Sharky's was busy. It was crazy busy. So I'm not surprised. Yep.
Rob says, bleh.
Yep, I'm right there with you, Rob.
And the sauce that they had to dip them in was really good.
The sauce was pretty good. Had a little kick to it.
I'm on a low carb diet, so I ate a couple, but we ended up giving the last one to the people next to us. I was like, "You want to try this thing?" I'm not going to eat it. I can't eat it.
But it was good. We each had a soda, I think, and then those, and it was $30. So I didn't think that was too bad. But we left there, and we were headed back because it was starting to get very dark. The clouds were really rolling in, and it was probably 12:30-ish, 1 o'clock. Mind you, we didn't get into port until 9:45. And we were, like I said, we were a little late, but we headed back. And on our way out of port into Nassau, there's all these hair braiders and people. And this one lady, got Corey. And
I love The Office, so when Michael Scott went to Sandals and he came back with his braid, and I was like, oh my God, I have to get a braid. And she looks at me and she says, you need braids. And I'm like, I've thought about it. And she's like, I'll put them in your goatee. And I'm like, oh, even better. I said, we'll get them on the way back. So
and she remembered.
And she remembered. She saw me and she like, nope, you sit down.
Yep.
I said, I just wanted 2. I wanted 1 on each side. And she said, you get 3. And I'm
$5 a braid. But they don't tell you that until after the fact because there's nothing posted. I got one little one. I took it out already. I'm not all about that. But
these will be out before I go back to work on Monday.
Yeah. So that was fun. But then we just got back on the ship and you went in the pool. Was that the day you went back in the pool?
I did no.
It wasn't that day.
Yes, maybe it was. I think we did go back to the pool first and then we hung out because it started raining more.
So if you've never been on a cruise, and I know most of my family has never been on a cruise, so I will tell you. The pools on cruise ships, for me, are bacteria-ridden, crowded, and gross. So I did not go in a pool on the cruise ship. But
this was the adults only
it
pool.
Was the adults only pool, and there was only like 4 people in there because everybody else was still in port. So that's not so bad. When you actually have space to move, most of the time, especially sea days, especially, some of the ports that not everybody gets off the ship on, those pools are jam-packed full of people. Like, you could barely move. And I just like, ooh.
The one on the forward Lido deck was always full. And the hot tubs were full of little kids and adults alike. And
we're not about that life.
No.
We're not about that.
No, not at all.
And I think that's why I have avoided Carnival for so long, is because there's a lot of havoc wreaking children.
Yeah.
A lot. And we stayed, we weren't around them too much because we weren't on the Lido. Like I said, I'm not a pool person, so I think we went to the Lido for food and for the parties at night, and that was about it. Otherwise, we did not go to the Lido very often at all. The adults only pool wasn't, it was jam-packed on sea days and at night, but they also have an adults only, they call it Serenity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you can just go and relax. We went up there a few times because it's nice, kind of quiet.
So, second day was Princess Key.
Yeah. Should we talk about Princess Key?
So, Princess Key, we had decided that our new cruise friends, Jenny and Kim, name drop, they had booked a waterboarding excursion.
A paddleboard
excursion.
Paddleboarding.
So we asked them if we could join them, and we booked it. And I'll call it waterboarding until. But it decided it was going to thunderstorm and rain all day, so we all got over there first because we were on faster to the fun.
Just 1 second. FYI, day 1, they asked us to go play bingo.
Oh, yeah.
And we did. It's $58 a person to play bingo. You get a dauber and you get a bunch of
And we
cards.
got extra cards, so that's why it was $58.
It's only 3 games.
Only 3 games.
It was $100 for the first game, $150 for the second, or was it 2 for the second?
I think it was 2 for the second,
and then $250 for the third game. That's what you won if you got bingo. And this guy wins bingo on the third game.
And I got free bingo for the rest of the cruise.
And free bingo for the rest of the cruise.
Mm-hmm.
So, we figured since he won bingo, we're just going to buy an excursion on Princess Key. Princess Key is a private island. It is a tender island, so we had to take a tender over. And we were on the first one. We made it on the very first one because we had an excursion, that we were supposed to meet at 8:30, I think, in the
Oh
morning.
yeah, it was one of the first
early.
excursions. Yeah.
And we got over there, and we weren't there 5 minutes. We didn't even get past like
you had to
right
go to
where you get off the boat.
You had to go over and sign for a waiver for your excursions. There were people signing waivers, and then they said, "Oh, everyone just go wait. No one's allowed in the water. All the excursions are put on hold for the next 2 hours." So we found a spot underneath a shelter and sat there in the rain for 2 hours. We went back over and checked, and they said, "Nope, check back in an hour." So we finally just went to where the excursion was, and they said they'd been canceled for the day.
And it had, mind you, it had quit raining after about an hour and 40 minutes. But there was massive amounts of lightning all the way around the island. It was going sideways. It was hitting the water, and you could see it. It was a little scary. They quit bringing the tenders over for a while. And then they started up again. So a lot of people were on the island and we couldn't do anything. We were just kind of stuck sitting under these canopies.
We saw people go in the water, so I was like, screw it, I'm going in the water. And then all of a sudden the lifeguard comes over and shames me out of the water.
We just put our feet in. Like, we weren't even trying to,
I ran out. I was like a little kid.
But, I just put my feet in, and was it Jenny that went with me? Yeah.
Yeah.
We just put our feet in, just to say we put our feet in, I guess, and right back out. So we had lunch. Lunch is included. Burgers, hot dogs.
Yeah, it was
just
classic.
Basic. Yeah, potato salad.
Middle school lunch.
Brownies. Yeah. It was all right. I had a burger. It was okay.
Yeah, the burgers were okay.
Yeah, so...
the jerk chicken wasn't bad. She didn't like it, but I had to have some jerk chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was only 1 day out of 5. Like...
Yeah.
It
was a bummer that we didn't get to do the excursion.
Yeah, and we got refunded for it, so we weren't really worried about it. Sitting with Jenny and Kim made it way more bearable probably than it would have been if it was just us. We would have been really bummed.
Yeah.
But great conversation and had a great time. We laughed a lot, and I think people were like, how can they be so happy? But we made a good time out of it, so... as soon as they started letting us get back on the tenders to go back to the ship, we did. And then the weather cleared up. Like right before we were leaving, all the skies started turning blue and the clouds were gone, and I was just like, really?
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's all right. Well, we just went and had dinner. I don't think we didn't do a whole lot that night, did we?
Mm-mm. No, was that formal night?
Yes.
Yeah, so
you have to dressed
up.
Yeah, I think I threw on a
middle school lunch.
Yeah, rectangle pizza. Yes, that would have been better.
I think. I don't know, carnival crust though.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know, but yeah, it was pretty good. So yeah. We didn't do too much. We just went to dinner and went to the casino. I lost a bunch of money. He won a bunch of money.
I won $120, yeah.
I lost $120. So that night we were even.
We watched, yeah.
So that was it. And then day 3 was we woke up in Grand Turk.
We decided that our cruise friends were doing the duck tour. It was a little more than the waterboarding, but
it was quite a bit more.
It was like double the price.
Yeah.
But it gave us something because we didn't have any excursions planned.
We didn't have anything else planned, and I'm really glad we did.
It was fun to do. I was a little shell shocked because you see this luxurious island, beautiful water, and to see how the people live there and that they totally depend on tourist dollars. There's no exports. Everything is imported. All their vegetation, all their food is imported. All they have to do for a job is to rely on the tourism I was a terrorist. The tourism economy. Yeah,
we did go buy a couple of things from the locals. We went into we didn't do a food vendor like a food truck or anything.
We did go into the restaurant
though. We went into a restaurant and bought from these little old ladies. I just got a slushie because it was really hot.
I bought a local beer.
Yeah, so we're spreading out money where we can.
We went to the Margaritaville there and had lunch after the duck tour.
That was fun.
Yeah, I got to eat a cheeseburger in paradise.
So before we met Jenny and Kim, our plan was just to go to Margaritaville and go swim in the pool. They have an enormous pool.
I'm glad we nixed that idea.
Very glad, because while we were eating lunch, someone either pooped or vomited in the pool, and no one else could be in the pool for the rest of the afternoon.
Yeah. So
very glad we did not do that. Oh, yes. So Corey was telling me about that. I did not get in the water this time at all.
They went shopping, and I went and got in the water, and I swam almost all the way out to where the
markers are.
Yeah, the wooden marker is there in the water, and I just floated around out there. It's amazing.
Yeah, I said next time we go, we'll just do the beach. We'll probably just rent a little clamshell and hang out on the beach, because it was really nice. But Margaritaville was really loud, a little obnoxious.
It was like being at a party or like a club, only outside.
Yeah, it was not our thing, really. But I would definitely hang out on the beach.
I recommend the duck tour just so you can see how the people live and where they take you by all the government offices.
Yeah. They give you a little history.
Yeah.
They used to export salt, and a lot of the
sea salt
lakes there, whatever they call them. I forget what they call them, but a lot of them are still there, and you can see the salt.
There's wild donkeys everywhere there.
That was cool.
Yeah, there's like donkeys and dogs all over the place.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was only a 2-hour excursion, but we were only on the island for 6 hours. So I think we got there at 11, or we got off the ship like 11:15.
Mm-hmm.
Our excursion started at 1, so we had a little time. Corey and I went in a few of the shops. We did go down to the water and stick our feet in really quick, and then we had to meet up for our excursion, and then we only had 2 hours when we got back, I think, and it took a very long time to get a server at Margaritaville and food.
Yeah. So we spent probably an hour at Margaritaville.
Yeah. So next time I said we'll just do the beach.
It was really amazing.
Yeah.
Then
we went back to the ship, and
that was 80s day.
That was 80s day.
So when we got back to the ship, we put on our 80s attire.
Thanks, Jenny.
And we went. So the theater had a showing that was 80s music, and they had people dancing and singing these 80s songs, and it was really
big production.
It was really good. And then we went to the comedy show after that.
We went to the comedy show.
It was a PG comedy show. The earlier shows are usually PG, and then the later shows are the R-rated. So we went to an earlier show.
Because the 80s Lido Deck party wasn't until 10:15, and which is a little late for us. We're old, and we have been,
exhausted.
How many days in a row we were outside in the sun doing things.
We were up at well, it would have been 5 o'clock in the morning for us. We were up at like 6 o'clock in the morning Caribbean time every morning.
So, but we had kind of taken the afternoon a little easier, took our time getting ready for the 80s, and really just went and kind of had a few snacks. And
we didn't go to dinner that night because we had a late lunch.
That's when you got the sandwich.
Past our bedtime, Rob says.
Yep. Yeah, that's when you got the sandwich from that.
From the
that
Carnival Deli.
Yeah. And I didn't have time. He got me one too, but I didn't have time to eat it because I was busy getting ready.
Oh, we were trying to get to that show. Yeah.
So we ended up, Jenny and Kim wore out way more than we were. So they went to bed actually. And we stayed up, and I really wanted to go to the party. Like, I was all decked out, and we have pictures on Facebook. But that was a great time. I was surprised it only lasted about a half an hour.
Well, we went to the pre-party too, so the pre-party was...
It's about 20 minutes.
20, 30 minutes.
They just had a DJ playing 80s music, and everybody was coming out in their 80s gear, and
then by the time the party actually started, the cruise director came out, and he was doing a bunch of stuff. It was funny, and it was
so much fun.
It was a great little party.
Yeah, I can't wait to do another one of those. It was a really good time. And that's when I was starving because I didn't get to eat my sandwich. And we went to hunt down some food, and the only thing available was pizza.
Yeah.
And there was everyone else.
Huge line for pizza.
After the party was over, everyone else was hungry too. So there was a very long line for pizza. But it went by pretty fast. It wasn't too bad. So I grabbed a few chocolate chip cookies and pepperoni pizza, and we went back to the room and went back to bed. And then our last day was a C day. We played bingo. Didn't win anything at that bingo.
No. Came close. The kid behind us won.
Oh,
so they cut the 5,000 off after 49 numbers, but he still ended up winning $1,000.
$1,100 he won.
Yeah.
You go. Just a kid. But.
Just a baby.
Just a baby. He was just 7, 8 years old.
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, it was, what else did we do that day? We slept in because we were exhausted.
We did trivia that day too.
We did.
We did the
TV theme song trivia. That was fun.
Was that also the day that we did the spin the wheel game with the people from Tennessee?
Yes.
Yeah, we did do that too.
We played some other games. Family.
We almost won.
Family something. Yeah. We came in second.
We tied with another team, and we lost the tiebreaker.
But it was still fun. It was lots of fun.
Very fun.
And then
we went to the Q&A with before the bingo. There was the Q&A.
That was with the cruise director, drummer in the Freedom Band, rock band, and the choreographer.
Yep, the music director.
Yeah. That was really interesting because it was basically you can ask us almost anything. So I learned a lot about what it's like to live and work on a cruise ship, and they talked a lot about missing their families and where they're from.
I started looking up Carnival jobs for entertainers.
Yeah. So if you don't know, Corey plays guitar and bass guitar. So he's like, I wonder what it would be like.
Yeah, well, maybe I can get my band on a cruise.
So that was fun. And and then the last thing we did was the farewell party in the atrium with the cruise director.
That was right before the comedy show. Yeah. And I got up and sang Ice Ice Baby. Yeah. And we will post that video on our Facebook page as well.
So it was very entertaining. I wish I could have got more of it.
He started out like, okay, so you got to know more than just the chorus. You have to know the rap part. And I'm like, bro, this is my karaoke song. And he goes, okay then. Mm-hmm. And by the end, I think in the video, you can see his face. He's like, oh, yeah, this guy knows his song.
There's a girl standing right up at the stage too, and she turns to her significant other and goes, he's really good. And you can see, it's like, yeah, he knows his stuff. So yeah, and then we went to they had a mega comedy show with both comedians, and Andy did his own set, and it was all adults only.
You could tell that he was still in cruise director mode because he was PG for a lot of his words, but then he would telling stories that were not age appropriate for PG, but he's funny. Still the cuss words and stuff. He was like using like crap and stuff.
He's very, very like kid oriented, and he was so good involving kids in a lot of the other stuff, even like during bingo and during a lot of the shows and the games. Oh, we tried to play the love and marriage game, but because we're not newlyweds and we haven't been married the longest, there's a competition you have to do to get picked to be that third couple up there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've never seen it, you have to see it, because it is, you have to make out.
Yeah.
Like major make out. And there was some really, I'm not like that. No.
There was some very inappropriate stuff going on with a newlywed couple.
Very inappropriate. And then you have to like act like Tarzan and Jane, and it's hilarious to watch. Nah, not for me though.
Right.
But we did. I mean, we tried. We just not over the top like that. That's all. So that was hilarious to watch. By the way, that was funny. I love that show. I've seen that on other cruise lines, so that was funny for me. But yeah, we didn't do Quest. If any of you have ever done the Quest game, I don't even think I told Corey about Quest at all, but we didn't go down and do that. So yeah, we just saw the comedy show and then headed to bed because it was 10:30, 11, and we still had to finish packing.
The oldest married couple was really funny.
They are the funniest.
The guy they said one of the questions was something about if plural marriage was legalized and you had to marry someone else, which of your wife's friends would you marry? And this guy's like, Doug. And he's like, who's Doug? Like, so he's saying he'd marry this other guy. Oh, yeah. It was hilarious.
It was good. It was really good.
So
Rob, you and Favor got up on there on the MSC, didn't you? Oh, that was during the comedy show. That was Favor, I think. Was it you two? I know you've been up there on stage. I know.
Oh, your crew's famous.
Yep. I'm pretty sure I probably have pictures somewhere. But yeah, it was fun. Still not sure how I feel about Carnival yet.
Oh, our C Day for Mother's Day, I got Jen.
Yeah. Do we need to talk about this?
Yes, because I think people need to know this. This company works on several cruise lines, but we booked a couples massage through what's the company? Senses.
Favor got on the comedy show. I knew it was one of you.
And the couples massage was torture.
They didn't want to listen to you when you said lighten up the pressure, or they didn't want to listen to me. And when I did say lighten up the pressure, she's like, you have knots. I need to work these out. And I'm just like, oh my God.
My still
back
in
is
pain.
Still sore, yeah. And then, as always, and I did warn Corey previously, I'm like, they, excuse me, try to sell you stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Big time. You know, they try to sell you all these lotions and other concoctions.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was not fun, to say the least.
No.
And very, very loud. It sounded like there was some kind of construction right on the other side of the wall. We didn't have a window, so we couldn't see the ocean. It just wasn't relaxing.
No, it was torture. It was a very expensive
I was going to say almost a $300 torture.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
And then they charged us the same. Instead of splitting the gratuity, it was 18% gratuity of the bill for both of us. So we paid almost another $30 each on top of that for...
I mean, we did have two, I don't know, masseusi? How do you say multiple
I did
masseuses?
not add to the... I did not add to the tip. I made sure that she was okay with me not adding to the gratuity. I mean, usually we do.
The 18%, but normally we would add more. But
I was not feeling it.
we do it based on service still. Yeah.
So then we made it back to Port Canaveral.
We did.
And
safe and sound. Weather was amazing.
We were first from the fun because we had faster to the fun.
Yeah,
faster from the fun.
And we did not check any of our luggage. I normally do carry off anyways. I just take my own luggage and walk off on my own. They had a separate waiting area in the theater for all the faster to the fun people, where we could get off the ship earlier than waiting for your muster station to be called. So we did do that, and we were off the ship and back at the hotel before anybody else was even off the ship.
We were sitting down eating breakfast back at the hotel when they were just calling our muster station.
Yeah.
So.
That's how fast.
Yeah.
And the shuttle from the hotel was already there. There was at least four of them at the little pickup point, and they took us back. We waited maybe 5 minutes. Yeah. Okay, it wasn't like that. Not at all. But yeah, we were back and had breakfast, and we were waiting kind of for Jenny and Kim. They were going to come back, and we were going to share an Uber to MCO because our flight wasn't scheduled to take off till 5:30 that night, and theirs was not scheduled till like 7. So we're like, hey, do you just want to split an Uber? Because an Uber from Cape Canaveral to MCO is about $100. Anywhere between $75 and $100. So that was our plan initially. And we had previously scheduled tattoos. So I went and got, I don't know if you can see it. I went and got a little, can you even see it on there?
Yeah, it's
kind of, sort of. Anyways, it's a wave.
Palm trees.
With palm trees.
And a wave and a little sun.
Yeah. I just wanted something little to commemorate. And
I got the sorting hat from Harry Potter. Yeah.
And then the girls were like, well, we want tattoos. And it was one guy, his name is Argyle, at Argyle in Cocoa Beach. He didn't have any time because he had walk-ins before Jenny and Kim could even get there. And they are a walk-in based mostly. And there at least 7 people had walked in between when we got there, which the studio opens at noon, and people were walking in at 10:15, 10:30. Our appointment was for 10. So we already had appointments, and everybody else just didn't want to wait because he had a second artist coming in at noon. But when Jenny and Kim got there, he had already had one person waiting. So, and they're like, we don't want to wait. Right around the corner is another tattoo and piercing studio. So we just happened to walk over there because we had time to kill. And they got both of them in. And I'll get permission to post their tattoo pics. But one of them got Elliot from Pete's Dragon, and the other got a peace and love sign. It's like tie-dye. It's so good.
Yeah, it was really good.
I love it. But it did take them longer, so we had to leave about 2:15 to get to the airport. So we ended up not being able to split an Uber, which was fine. I think the price had dropped to like $62 or $64.
Well, it was like 80, I thought, for the trip over.
Was it?
I think it was almost 80 because I tipped
like 50%.
Right.
That's right.
The guy had said that he wasn't going to get any return fares.
That's right. Really nice guy. He talked to us a lot on the way over.
Yeah, we learned a lot of stuff about Uber over there, and he was saying that if he accepted a fare at MCO that he could end up in Tampa, and he's like, that's too far away.
Yeah.
So
we did tip him pretty well.
Yeah, since he wasn't going to have anything for return.
We did appreciate, that. We know it's a long drive. We get it.
Yeah.
We're like, yeah. He wasn't going to take it, though. He tried to give Corey half of it back.
Yeah.
He was like,
and I was like, no, take these back. He's like,
He's
nope,
like,
you touched it. You touched it.
Yeah,
Not mine.
it was funny. But yeah, he dropped us off at the airport, and then the shenanigans with American Airlines began again.
Oh, dear Lord. American Airlines has lost a customer. I don't care how many advantage points I have. No. No more.
It was
a fiasco.
It was bad.
So our flight was delayed, and it wasn't delayed by long, but it was still delayed enough that we're like, we are not going to get to O'Hare in time to get our thing, get our connecting flight.
We knew.
Oh, yeah, because,
yeah.
If we hadn't even, I made the mistake of turning on my phone on the cruise ship and taking it out of airplane mode.
Yeah.
And I forgot I had Netflix stuff downloading, so I got text messages about my data rates going through the roof. But she went to look in Nassau about, maybe we can pay for better seats on our return flight.
Well, I figured since he was winning money at the casino and won at bingo, I'm like, maybe we can upgrade our flights home and we can relax in first class. Glad I logged in there because they canceled our flight home.
And did not tell us. We had to find out through the app.
Yeah, because I had no emails. I had no communication whatsoever from American. Because when they rebooked us on the second flight, because we had missed our connection in Charlotte, they basically canceled the rest of our
and then the flight in Charlotte,
flights.
The flight to Charlotte was canceled. Because they didn't have enough people, I guess, or whatever. So they were like, we'll reroute you. Instead of rebooking us or letting us know, they just canceled everything. So we had to rebook through O'Hare. The lady was great getting us rebooked. No issues. But then when we made it to MCO and we were getting on this flight, they were like, well, we can put you on another flight tomorrow at 8:00 in the evening, or
8:55 p.m. 24 hours after we should have already been home.
So I said, well, don't you have anything else? And they're like, well, we can put you on an earlier flight, but it goes to Miami, then to Denver, and then to Peoria. And I'm like, she's like, we are not getting stranded in Miami or Denver. So I said, just put us to Chicago. If we have to, we can rent a rental car. It's like 2 hours away. Oh, Lord. We got on the plane. We were taxiing for an hour. So we were...
There were major thunderstorms and storm systems in Georgia, northern Florida and Georgia. And so they were rerouting planes. They were...
we got routed out into the Gulf of Mexico because we saw the other side of Florida.
With Southwest, really? I know Favor has mentioned that she likes Spirit, but the closest airport I think we can get Spirit at is St. Louis.
St. Louis.
So that's the 3-hour drive for us.
So we got to Chicago. We started once we hit the tarmac, and I had cell service. I started looking for rental cars, and there was nothing. But United had a flight out at
9 a.m.
9 a.m. the next morning, and I said, well, we can be home in like less than an hour. So we...
And the flight attendants on our flight were telling us, go to customer service. You should be able to get vouchers and all this stuff. So we waited in line in customer service for well over an hour and 40 minutes to get up there for them to say, nope, it was a weather issue, not our problem.
It was traffic and weather, so we're not liable for that. I said, how are we liable for that? So we had to sleep in a terminal. We actually booked the United flight because they wanted to they rebooked us for 24 hours later. We were not sitting in an airport for 24 hours. So 8 hours trying to sleep on their hard floor or whatever. But we went to United's terminal for that. It was freezing in O'Hare. We had one bag of luggage that we didn't check. So I ended up walking around,
crazy.
And Alaska Airlines actually had the warmest terminal, so we went over to Alaska.
Which is weird.
We went over to Alaska Airlines and tried to sleep in their chairs. They had better.
I mean, we easily could have gotten a hotel room, but by this time it's already midnight.
Yeah.
And I was over it. He was over it. I'm like, by the time we got to the hotel, checked in, and could actually lay down to sleep, it would have been 1 or 2 in the morning, and we would have had to been back at the airport in
and then
5
walk all the
hours.
way through it to find
Yeah.
where we needed to be.
So
yeah, no.
we're like, forget it. We're just staying here. So I pretty much stayed awake all
I
night.
think my Fitbit said I got an hour and a half of sleep. It didn't even register me with a sleep rating. It was that bad.
But United made it. We were here in less than an hour.
I think we were only in the air for like 10 minutes before they announced that we were getting ready to land in Peoria.
Yeah, it was not very long at all. Like, I don't think the stewardess, or I'm sorry, flight attendant, got out of her seat for anything. I think she sat almost the entire flight except to collect trash once. And that was it.
Oh, whoever is viewing us, thanks
Hi.
for... they were here and gone.
Hi.
No.
But yeah, so we made it home about 10:15 yesterday morning.
Yep.
And that was it.
We had to spend some time on the phones with travel insurance and American Airlines trying to get
filing claims.
Because one of our bags was still checked, so we had to go back to the airport at 10 o'clock last night to get it. And it was just sitting there all by itself.
Was there. Yeah, I was afraid it wasn't going to be there. Because Peoria Airport's so small that there was no one there. There was no one there for us to talk to when we got there to let them know, hey, our bag's coming in. So I was really afraid that there was not going to be anyone there and our bag was not going to be there. So I was glad it was sitting there when we got there. And yeah, so if I purchase, I don't know how you say it, Alani's, I don't know how you say it, but I purchased their travel insurance and have had great customer service. Claims have been paid usually within 3 to 4 days. I've never had any issues with them, knock on wood.
The next time we go, we're going to book a more direct flight, and we are due to go to Disney in September, and we did
76 days?
We did a park and fly
out of Chicago.
So it's going to be a direct flight.
On United.
Yeah. United, you are my new best friend.
Well, I'm not saying United's any better. I'm not saying there's any... I mean, I know all the airlines have issues right now, and I know that there's a lot going on.
We had bad luck with Frontier too, though. When we went
flying Frontier
because they were canceling flights all the time
and rebooking you with.
Rob said that's who they use for their travel insurance.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like them. I really do, and I think we're gonna do the annual one next year.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I think that's easier.
We do travel quite a bit.
We use them multiple times a year, so I think it'd be cheaper. Yep. Yeah, and we actually paid more this time for one stop than we do with direct flights. So.
And our direct flights home, we just got one way back to Peoria, and they were $109 a ticket, and then we paid for one checked bag. But they were really low, and we were able to get it the night before, less than 10 hours before the flight.
Yeah.
So I was really happy that we got those.
So next time we're driving to Chicago and doing the park and fly. So, because parking up there is really expensive.
And our new cruise friends live in California, but they like to cruise and they like Disney. So next year in May,
Disney
Cruise. And we are going to go on
what?
Which ship?
Oh, the Disney Fantasy.
I was hung up on the Wish the whole time we were on the cruise.
But the Wish is only 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
And I would like to do a 7-day, and for almost the same price as a 4-day on the new Wish. We could do a 7-day on the Fantasy.
And the Fantasy looks like it's geared a little more adult and a little more Disney than the Wish is.
Yeah.
So we're going to do the fantasy. We watched a lot of videos today. Brittany is going to join us on the fantasy.
Corey's daughter.
Yep,
She
it's going to be her
next
graduation
year.
present. Yep. She'll be 18, so she'll get to partake in the adult activities.
Yay!
So I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah, so looking forward to that. And then we have our week-long trip to Disney coming up in September. And what else do we have planned?
Barbados in December of 2024. Yep.
So there'll probably be another cruise in between there somewhere. Maybe just a short carnival or something. We'll see. Yeah. So
we need to start booking Disney cruises so we can get that platinum rolling.
I told them we need to find a cruise line where we can just be loyal and bank those points and those loyalties, because it gets you some decent stuff.
Just with Faster the Fun, we had access to guest relations, and the lines were always long, and we managed to get right in because we had Faster the Fun.
Yeah,
so
definitely worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely worth it.
Just don't take your phone out of airplane mode in the middle of the ocean. On port,
don't do what we do.
On port,
well, not we.
We got a good rate of our carrier does $10 for the first line, $5 for the extra line to connect internationally. Cruise ships are outrageous.
Yeah,
so
don't do it.
If you're in the middle of the ocean, just leave it on airplane mode.
Airplane mode. Or even better, buy a camera and put your cell phone in the safe.
Yeah. Rob says Royal Caribbean Oasis class are amazing.
So I have not done a Royal Caribbean yet. I have been, and I'm a silver.
Those were the two
on Norwegian. So
the Royal Caribbeans were the ones that were parked next to us, weren't they?
In Nassau, yes.
Yes, there was two Royal Caribbean ships parked next to us.
I really, 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 really want to try an Oasis class ship. So that might be one we do next year too. Because I know we have some other friends that have never been cruising, and it's their 25-year anniversary. And I think they would really like the Oasis class ships out of all of them. So that's one we definitely have to try. Yeah, so excited.
Awesome.
Next time we'll have to look for Rob and Favor and see where they're going, and maybe we can cruise with them. They know all the good stuff.
We'll stalk them.
It's not that hard. They do have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, put it right out there.
All right. Thanks for watching us, Rob. We appreciate you. Miss you guys.
Our only fan.
Not
only fans, but only fan.
Give Favor a hug from me. And we'll see y'all soon. Come to our Facebook page.
Yeah.
I don't know why I can't talk. I'm tired. I'm very tired.
We'll have all the pictures posted.
We'll have pictures
tomorrow.
And video of somebody singing and swimming, because I think I took some video of him in the ocean as well.
Oh, yes.
And stepping foot on his very first cruise ship.
First step onto the cruise ship, yes.
So, well, we'll see you all soon. Thank you for watching. Have a great